Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Time to say good morning to our Kapiti Mayor, Guru. Kia ora, Guru.
Hey, did I hear you singing Love, Love You Do?
Yeah. I always love you do. How do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you enjoy your session on Saturday night at the Southwards
That was
Music?
brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Good.
Yep, good show. And around about 40,000 raised, so Roger Booth's got to be congratulated.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, he's been writing the book on Sir John Trim,
Yes.
and then he's had time to organise this massive performance.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Now, the LTP was confirmed, signed, sealed and delivered, but the Kapiti Chamber of Commerce are not all that happy about the commercial rates. They don't mind paying the commercial rates, but they want more transparency of how you're going to use that money that you raise from that.
Yeah, look, I think that's a fantastic change on their part, where they said that at the strategic level, the Chamber supports commercial rates. They've been fighting commercial rates, targeted commercial rates for more than a decade. So that I found that really positive news. But you're right. I mean, they're saying, where is the money going to? Look, there's sort of 2.7 million that goes into the economic development area, and I think direct investment will be about $800,000. We do a huge amount of stuff. I mean, about $160,000 is used for major events that we put in. Like, you know, the Otaki Kite Festival, Costella Music Festival, the Farmers Market. We also operate the eyesight visitors, eyesight area. What else do we do? We support businesses with their grant applications. We partner with the Chamber of Commerce to the youth employment strategy. We set up the Work Ready Kapiti, which is an initiative to help 16, 25-year-olds transition into local employment. We sponsor the Electra Business Breakfast, the Electra Business Awards. We work with the Wellington Regional Economic Development Agency. And in fact, we successfully did the bid for the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment to include Otaki in the rollout for ultra-fast broadband. And of course, we also commissioned a huge range of research papers. I mean, more recently we had research data on traffic flows post the expressway opening, and also looking at retail spending patterns following the opening of the expressway. We've got a new website to promote Kapiti. We've got a team working closely with the government on the Provincial Growth Fund. And of course, the large percentage of the $2.7 million is capital works to the, what do you call it, the town center improvement. You know, huge amount of work.
Sure.
Money is going to that.
But
I suppose they are right in the sense that they need we were taking $500,000 and targeting from general rates and targeting it on commercial rates. I think it's a fair question for them to ask, you know, okay, where is this money specifically going to?
Yes, I'd like to see user-defined targets should be introduced to measure performance with a regular reporting to the business community. Is that something you'll be looking at?
I mean, the rest of the region, the councils also have targeted business rates. I wonder if they do have specifically such a reporting base. But it is an interesting concept that can be explored. I don't think there's too much of a problem.
And I'd like to see
the other one that I remember the race was to establish a role to promote local businesses in Pakakariki, Rameti, Paraparaumu Beach, Waikanae, and Otaki Town
Yes.
Centers. I think we've got economic development officers. I think they will fulfill the roles of that. And I know the concept we are dealing with is village economies, which is something that I really support. I mean, I think I mentioned it at the documentary opening that we saw on the Paraparaumu Beach Market. It was a wonderful documentary. That shows you the concept of village economies, and we need to replicate that in Pakakariki, Waikanae, in Otaki, and even the small. I think Tihoro has also got a small market. That's just one aspect of it, and we've got. I think we need to have policies around those. to help it along. I mean, these policies should be developed under economic development strategy, not the regulatory one.
Right, because what they're sort of saying is the data that they have got is 11 years old that the council have based their priorities on. Is that a fair comment to say that?
No, I don't think that's true, because if you look at the research data on the traffic flow past the Post Expressway and the retail spending patterns Post Expressway, these are very new. So we are constantly updating those things. And the fact is the economic development strategy itself is from 2015, I think. So it's not that old.
So I suppose you could say that the opening up of the airport and the way the council supported that, would that be part of what they're talking about?
You know, in more recent months, since March, there's been a significant involvement of council and council staff, and the time of the chief executive and the time of the mayor. That's huge investment.
So that is actually part of what they're arguing, I suppose. You could put that down into saying, well, this is what we're doing to help businesses in Kapiti. We're spending money in that area.
That's right. And also, look, I can understand the chamber, you know, you occasionally need to rattle your sword to show that you are representing the interest of business. So, you know, I take it as part and parcel of what their role is as advocates. And so when we put targeted commercial rating, they stand up and make some noise about it. That's all part of the game. I accept that. But the key thing for me is learning from them that they support commercial rates. Yeah. I mean, that's a bonanza for us after 10 years.
Sure. Now, speed limits on 40 roads have been slashed, some by 40 k's per hour. You're pretty happy with what's been developed there?
Well, this is largely run by traffic safety engineering expertise from NZTA, working with some of our engineering staff, traffic engineering staff. So I'm a person who's keen to listening to what the experts say. But by the same token, we are required to consult with the public, and I think consulting with the public has also made some changes in Rikarangi Way and also Valley Road, where even though the intention was to move to 70 kilometers, we moved it up to 80 after public consultation. Sections of it anyway.
Yes.
And you know that the government policy, central government policy, shows road safety is to be one of its top priorities.
And I see it's reduced down past Fisherman's Table, etc., which is most probably one of the most dangerous little bits of road that we have around the place, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know when I supported that, lowering that one, quite a few people criticized me. But you know, you have people who like to travel fast.
Well, that's going to happen here. That's dead right. All right. Now, the other thing is the rates, average rates across the entire district of 4.8% for the coming year. So do you look into the crystal ball and say what it's going to be next year, or have you...
Oh, we sort of have an average right across. But more interesting is I think you should have a look and see what everybody else is doing in the region. I think the regional council is looking at 5.9. I think Pororoa is above 5. And we know that I think Hamilton, 9%, I think.
Yes. Well, Wellington's 3.8.
Yeah.
So that'd be the lowest.
If you look at the amount of money they're going to borrow to do stuff.
Yeah, sure. Now, of course, one of the big old arguments, footpaths and shed paths, you're gradually going to increase the footpath budgets there too, aren't you?
Yeah, I think footpath has always been a major in terms of hiccup. When we run resident survey, footpath always rate very high in terms of complaints. We've got a budget, and one thing good is the new funding regime, and NZTA is increasing money for footpath.
Yep. And the other
good news.
Yeah, the other big one is the curbside waste collection. I should imagine you're going to have a look at that one again too, are you?
Well, look, I mean, it's not coming back into council. I think that's a nonsense. You need to raise the rates by another 5 to 6% to do that. But what we've got to just think smart. We've got a specialist officer been employed from the which is not costing us any more money, because we've got a waste levy. We get funding from the waste levy funding, yes. And we are using that to support a full-time officer on that side.
Okay.
Looking at ideas, talking to people who've got problems, and sorting problems out in that manner. So that's good. And also, I do intend to form a focus group around this area that we can then help communities look at waste minimization ideas. At the end of the day, that's what it is. You've got to reduce the amount of waste that we dump. And even when you recycle, when you get a huge amount of plastics and this sort of things, where does it go? Now with the Chinese market being closed down, right across the globe, people are having stockpiles of this plastics and stuff.
Yes, which it doesn't encourage people to stop using plastic, I suppose, because this month is plastic-free month, isn't it?
Yeah, but,
what do we do with it when we get it home, you see?
Yeah, this is a government problem. It's a global problem in a central government problem. And I think this month at the local government conference, there are a couple of remits going up, pressuring the government to take some serious action in terms of recycling and also minimizing the amount of plastic at source.
Yes. All right, Guru. Well, we better fly because time's run out, but we thank you for your time today. Talk to you next Monday.
Okay, and I like the word that you asked me that we better fly.
Better fly.
And we say fly, Kapiti.
Right. Thanks, Guru.
106.3 Beach FM.